Please welcome Lara Beitz.
All right, hell yeah. Got some hotties with some bodies in the house tonight, yeah. Looking good, like what I see. I moved here from the Midwest, so now every guy I see is the hottest guy I ever saw. In my whole entire life, Jesus Christ, holy shit. I've been dating them too, I've been getting in there. I was being boyfriend-girlfriend with this one guy, and that relationship lasted for 2 sexes. And then I fell in love with him. And he didn't fall in love with me. Yeah, I don't recommend that at all. We were breaking up. I was just like, so what do you want? And he said, I just want to be left alone. I was like, so if I leave you alone, can we still be boyfriend, girlfriend? No? Okay, perfect. No, I mean, I drank your but I guess that doesn't count for jack shit in this town. Fucking unbelievable. So I am back out there again, not that I fucking feel like it, but I am dating again. I'm an aggressive dater. I'm not fucking around no more. I want a husband and a baby. And if you don't want to give me that shit, stay the out of my way. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean that. Every guy here is like, oh, I'm just looking for something casual. Yeah, I bet you are, you little bitch. Well, I'm not. I'm looking for something formal. I want someone to rent a tux and marry me. I'm gonna give up. I can't take this shit no more. I'm gonna quit. I'm just gonna go to the sperm bank. It. Not even to have a baby. Just I'll drink the. Is that what you want? Are you happy? It's just a different path to the same thing anyway. No, that is true. They don't tell you that, but that is true. If all the dates go good, he's gonna want you to drink the. No, not me, not anymore. Drink your own, you fucking asshole. Yeah. I'll drink my I bought at the bank. And then we don't have to talk about what kind of music you like, because I don't give a shit. How's that sound? Sometimes on dates, guys will ask me why I think I'm still single, which that's a trap. Don't answer that. I'm just like, honestly, most guys find my too tight. So that's why. Which is not true. I don't know, I think I got a regular one. Maybe it's tight. I feel like if it was, though, it would have come up in conversation by now, though. One time a guy did say it was tight. I was like, really? And he laughed so hard his dick went soft. So probably not the tightest one of all time. I do know I have a wide cervix because my doctor told me that, not that I fucking asked. She was doing the exam. She was like, oh, have you ever been pregnant? I was like, no. She was like, oh, okay. I just asked because you have a wide cervix. I was like, I wasn't gonna ask you why you asked me that. I thought you asked everyone the same questions. I didn't think you were just asking me personally because of how big my shit is. And then at a different time, a guy was giving me a professional massage. He was like, oh, you have broad shoulders. I was like, you should see my cervix.
Please welcome Brian Simpson.
I don't help people when their pets go missing. No. Like when I see one of those signs and it's like lost dog, I'm like, all right, that's one side of the story. Yeah. You're using the word lost, but what if I ask the dog, maybe he escaped? You know? Those people want you to think their dog's biggest problem is it can't find them. But I saw this documentary, it turns out the average canine can recognize a familiar scent for up to 13 miles for up to 48 hours. So maybe your dog know exactly where you are. You know? Yeah. You just can't handle the fact that he chose the streets. And you shouldn't be asking black people to help return a runaway to his master. So. Oh shit, racism, here we go. We don't talk about racism enough because it makes everybody, white people, uncomfortable. It's like, we treat racism like herpes. We just act like it's not everywhere. Then every now and then there's a flare up. And America's like, I don't have it. I don't know where everybody's getting it from. And then all the black people are like, well, this is the only country that's been f***ing me, so why is my freedom so bumpy? You know what I mean? And they hate when we protest, just large groups of us piss people off. America looks at black people the way cashiers look at pennies. Like, legally, they have to accept us everywhere. But if you walk in with more than a handful, everybody's like, what is this bullshit? It's true. Reviews are ruining everybody. Everybody thinks their f***ing opinion is valuable because we can review things. Remember the golden days? Remember the early 90s? If you went out somewhere and there was something wrong with your sandwich or something, you got home, you just had to shut the f*** up about it. Yeah. Nobody cared what happened to you at Applebee's when Bill Clinton was president. Now every single American is like, oh, I had to ask twice for napkins. I'm gonna put this place out of business. Yeah. You know, there's people leaving 1-star reviews on national parks. Yeah. Somebody gave Yellowstone National Park a 1-star review. And I quote, went camping, only saw one bear. Bullshit. How arrogant do you have to be to give the Earth a 1-star rating? It's the only habitable planet. You can watch 10 YouTube videos now and be like, you know what? F the people that have a degree in this. I have some theories of my own, Neil deGrasse Tyson. You know those people that don't believe the Earth is round? Yeah, they call themselves flat earthers. And their whole reasoning is, it don't seem round from here. Because they can't see the curve, they don't think it's real. Like, there's people smarter than you do, just accept that. F what you can see. You've never seen germs. I bet if I sneeze in your mouth, you'll make a doctor's appointment. Yeah. And stop assuming that black people's biggest fear is racist cops. It's racist in every job. You know what's more terrifying than a racist cop? A racist lifeguard. A racist cop gotta at least break a sweat, lie to somebody. A racist lifeguard just have to not notice you out there. And you dead. So ask yourselves, is it that black people can't swim? Or have we been the victims of a decades-long conspiracy by the aquatic wing of the Ku Klux Klan? Right. And stop calling the Ku Klux Klan the Klan, like they the greatest Klan. The Wu-Tang Clan is the greatest Klan. Yeah. It doesn't matter what's important to you in the Klan. The Wu-Tang Clan has more members than the Ku Klux. They've got more hit singles than the Ku Klux. And if you listen to their music, they've killed more than the Ku Klux Klan. So.
Bobby Miyamoto.
Thank you. It's Bobby Miyamoto. It's Japanese. People always say, you don't seem Japanese. I'm totally Japanese. I love drinking sake. Vodka's my drink. When I was younger, we used to put vodka in water bottles and bring them into bars, because you could save like a lot of money doing that. Can't do it as you get older, especially if you're trying to hit on a woman at the bar. You can't say, hey, you want a shot? All right, put my coat over your head and lean under the bar. So sometimes when I talk, I slur. And the reason why is I had a stroke last year. I'm not making up. It's true. I'm fine now. Thanks for your concern. I really did. I had a stroke. When I tell people, they always say, are you sure you had a stroke? You seem a little young. Well, first of all, I'm Japanese, so I'm 90 years old. But I did. I had a stroke, and when I started to recover, people would tell me how lucky I am, because I had lost like a lot of feeling on my right side, but after a couple of weeks, it started to come back, and people would say how lucky I am. They would be like, you're like a lottery winner. Not quite. Also, I don't think when someone actually wins the lottery, they say, hey, this is just like coming back from a stroke. But a stroke, it changes you. Like, for me, it recalibrated my brain. Like, I used to be an inconsiderate person, but the stroke gave me a lot more empathy. So now whenever I see like a rude guy, I always think to myself, that dude needs to have a stroke. To recover, I went to Phoenix to stay with my mom, and the heat concerned me in Phoenix. It was over 100 degrees every day, and it wasn't even summertime, so I was asking a buddy of mine who lives there, I was like, how do you handle the heat in Arizona in the summertime? He goes, actually, it's not that bad. One good thing in Phoenix, it gets so hot that dog poop just gets really hard because there's no moisture in the air. So if you step on it, it just crumbles, doesn't really stick to your shoe. That's the best thing about living in Phoenix. How many times a day do you step in dog poop? You should write advertising for the city. Are you tired of mild summers and soft manure? Come to Phoenix and start living the good life. But after a while, I was able to run a little bit. So I asked the doctor, is it all right if I go jogging? And the doctor said, yeah, light jogging is okay, but if you start to feel numb or dizzy, stop. I was like, all right, so if I feel another stroke coming on, I should stop? I was just gonna run faster and then celebrate with a cigarette. My buddy said, you can forget about doing drugs now. Doctor's not gonna be okay with that. Was the doctor okay with it before I had a stroke? I don't remember the doctor saying, you seem like a healthy guy. You can treat yourself to a cocaine binge on special occasions. But the thing I was worried about is going into debt. But I found the best way to deal with debt after medical emergency is where you do one of those things where you consolidate all your bills into one easy monthly payment and then just default on that payment. That way you have less people calling you. But I haven't had really any setbacks since my stroke, but I got a really bad cold, and I had to buy cold medicine, and I have to be careful with that because well, one thing is it increases your blood pressure, but they card you now to buy cold medicine. You have to be 18 years old because people use it to make like crystal meth, which is kind of weird, like only people under the age of 18 make crystal meth. Those are some pretty productive kids. If they really wanted to prevent people who do crystal meth from buying cold medicine, instead of carding them, they should make them smile. If your teeth are mangled, no decongestant. Thank you very much, folks.